Hi there guys, I'm Chris Boden and welcome to today's Captain's Blog. It is Saturday, July 30th, 2011 at 13:31 hours, and I am once again up on a forklift swapping out crap electrical. See, one of the things a lot of people don't know is if you're competent, and please, for the love of God, don't do this if you're not competent, but if you're competent, you are legally allowed to replace like with like in your building. So in our building we have a lot of manky old exit signs that were installed by an incompetent, and there's a great example of incompetence. Look at this, look how they anchored this. Instead of using any kind of proper system, they used, to mount this, I swear to God, they used liquid nails. Okay, they mounted this light with liquid nails. That is incompetent. So I'm carving out all the liquid nails, and there's some, I think that's just liquid nails that's been painted white. And I'm carving all this out and cleaning it all up. I'm gonna replace this. And this is my project of the day. So yeah, this is a good example of the incompetent crap that we're cleaning up after. I figured I'd share that with you guys for a moment. And yeah, that's, oh, and the wire here, which you can see the loose strand in there, this goes back out the hole, right, into the conduit, but it loops under this, and that screw is tightened down, and it crimped the wire, so that is a violation right there. You can't do that because you crimp the wire in the thing, and it'll short out. If they tighten that screw, you know, anywhere near what they should, it can mess up the insulation on the wire and cause it to arc out, and since the box, in theory, is grounded. You have no idea in this building what is or is not grounded. Never ever assume anything. But if the box is grounded as it should be, that could short out and be bad. So yeah, of course it'd be worse if the box wasn't grounded, because then it just, you know, makes the box hot. Someday I'm gonna find you, dude. I will find you. You guys have fun. I'll have more as it happens. Time is 18:23 hours. And here we are with Adam Bird, who is not in his characteristic three-piece suit, but is a dapper individual nonetheless in his great-grandfather's, what are those, hemp overalls?
Yeah, I think they're hemp or they're old denim, which was typically made out of hemp way back in the day.
That's just badass. You've quite the look here.
Well, what makes it so cool is there's no exposed metal, so I can rub myself on the car and not scratch the shit out of it. Okay, I don't want to get into you rubbing yourself on the cars. I love it. We can talk about that. So you're here, and you're working on the car. I am. You and Dan. And what are you guys doing here? I have a hard line that is a fuel line, and it's leaking. It's 29 years old, so it's starting to rust and crack. So I need to replace that hard line. It's fortunately it's a return line, not a feed line. So okay, it doesn't spew out fuel constantly. It just drips a lot when it sits. So I got to get that replaced. But I need the most obscure tool ever devised by German engineers.
And it's one we don't have.
It's the one tool that we don't have.
But you did bring some tools to donate, which is pretty cool.
I did. They're over there.
Here, let's show people what you brought. Because these are the perfect donation tools, because it's the kind of thing that you use once a year, but people come here to use tools that you would need once a year. So this is handy. This is
a 5/8 Allen key, which is only used for very, very obscure things.
Yeah, they're pretty beefy there.
Yeah, off half-inch drive. And the nice thing is they got the little Allen bits there, so you can actually take this out of there and use it with a crescent wrench if you need to really get in somewhere tight. Okay, that's nifty. And thank you for your donations. Oh, don't worry about it. My pleasure.
Well,
hey, Moose.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing? So you've got quite the glue up happening here.
I do.
This is gluing together two full sanded sheets of plywood.
Yes, I did a lot of math and a lot of simulations, and the only way I can do my earth project is to glue two full pieces together. The rest will be a lot easier.
Okay. So. But you've this is so cool. You have every piece of mass we have out of the physics lab, and a bunch of big capacitors, and people are going to get a kick out of this. Check out the ratings on that cap, if it'll focus on it. It's 50,000 volts, 9,250 joules, which is pretty ferocious. And we've got a bunch of caps. We've got buckets of tile, junk tile that we blasted off in the high voltage lab when we did the floor there. And the Parlek vise. Just
You mop that.
it weighs a ton. Yeah, that's cool. So that's quite the gluing rig there.
Yes, it is acting just like all of my little glue ups do.
Okay, you got full ooze everywhere.
Ooze
There's good
through.
ooze.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had some of the big guys stand on it and no change.
Okay.
So I think we're good.
Yeah, well, I mean, these things are like 300-400 pounds a piece,
Yeah.
easy. So yeah, there's
10 of them.
you have a 2-ton glue rig. It's so cool. So this is what Steve and me and Dave did today. You can see this is what happens when you work on a project with Steve. This is junk wire we pulled out of the ceiling. And Steve, of course, like theater coiled everything. It's beautiful, it's perfect. It's the over-under wraps, so you can just grab one, toss it across the room. But all that goes into our wire collection because all that wire, look up here, bring a light, all this wire goes into that box. And this is all backfilled. This wire comes from, we've pulled it out, but you can see there's conduit everywhere because it went all along here, and you can see the shattered remains of doom. And it went all the way across here, more conduit, and that turns. It went all the way across here, and you can see some of the hangers, and it went all through this, and then there was a junction box here, and you can see the other giant wad of wire headed off that way, because it went all down here, and what we're doing is cleaning out all this jank old conduit. It's all junk. And the electricians are coming in installing the new stuff, but the electricians, while they're really great guys, charge a lot of money, and we're poor. So we're doing all the clean out of the old nasty junk stuff because it takes a lot of time and it's really hard, and you don't need to be a licensed electrician to rip stuff out. Haha. So they're cutting all the ends off and wire nutting it so it's safe, and then we're taking it all down. So that's the project, and it went all the way back to here, and all it was 4 light switches. But those 4 light switches each needed 2 wires for the switched feed, the hot feed out, and then the switched feed back. And then each one of them had a neutral wire for the little indicator lights in the box. So that's a lot of wires. I mean, you can see there's big wads of wire. And it's all cleaned out. It cleans it. All that jank, nasty mess that was hanging down here is all gone now. It's so much better. It's so much cleaner. And then tomorrow I'll be pulling out the old lighting feeds. I mean, the electrical here is a nightmare. So we're getting all that cleaned out. And that's the day. So I'm going to get back on a ladder. You guys have fun. And that's today's Captain's Vlog. See ya. And now, gratuitous shot of Omni the Wonder Dog.